I just want to mention I have messaged everybody, I believe, about Croft. The water level is over the platform on Croft. Okay? Don't have an issue with you going onto the platform, but please be aware it is 100% at your own risk.
Well, there's about 40 minutes to the off. Probably see the peg over my shoulder. The sun is behind the caravans just there. There's the caravans. The barking dog, as always. The sun is over there, so it's really still quite cold down here, but you can see the peg over my shoulder. The sun's hitting it over there. Now, I've been told that that might be an issue as regards if we've got to go chasing carp. They might be over there in that shallower water where the sun's hitting it, because you'd expect that water to be a bit warmer, but I'm hoping we don't have to go for carp, but obviously if I need to, I've got a rod set up for that. It's going to be a 3-line approach, but a 2-line approach. Not, you know, if I can ignore carp, then it's just going to be a 2-line approach. I've got a line at about 14 metres, and then I've got one at 37 metres, and that's about 13 metres off that other bank, off that other platform. And the other rod I've got set up is clipped up right underneath that platform on the other bank, and that's obviously going to be my carp line. Usual setup, those that have seen this match before, or this series of matches, the kit is really the same, but I will talk you through it. I've got 2 XS Slims, 10'10". One of them's for the short line, one's for the 37 metre line. Identical setups, they're both 10'10", or 3.3 metres, and they are coupled with 3000 reels, the Horizon reels, £6 main line. They've got to be free running rigs. Free running rig with a minimum 50 centimetre hook length. That is a rule of this league, so they're all free running rigs, and like I say, with a 50 centimetre hook length, can't go any shorter than that. And the other rig is 3.6 metre XC, 3.6 metre, which is about 12 foot, and that's for going right across over there, which is about 48 metres. I cast a bomb across, just got clipped up, and then I went to the sticks to measure it, and it works out at 48 metres. So that's why I'm using the 12-foot rod on that line, because it's a little bit wider, as you can imagine. There's no wind to contend with. It's a very frosty morning, as you can see. Dad's up there in the van, but he's obviously got his chair there waiting for him, and I know he's got his umbrella. Got the nets out, drying. Always make sure your nets are dry wherever you can. We've got to think about the spread of disease or trying to cut down on it as anglers. I've just got to sort the rest of my ground bait out. There, obviously the sticks there, the 3 metre sticks, and just the usual setup. Really nice and simple. The bait tray, as you can see, the extendable bait tray. The rod rest, as you can see, with both edges on it, and it's the ripple one that I'm using. That's so I can just position the rod, put the rod down. I think we might need to be patient and wait for bites. In the last round, I was over in that corner where that shiny van is. I was just over there. Okay, that's the bowl. That area hasn't been producing. However, I heard they caught 1 or 2 fish there in the last match, which wasn't a league match, but so it sounds like there might be 1 or 2 fish down in that bowl. There are quite a few spare pegs down there, but as you can see, it's flat calm. So I'm going to kick off on the 37 metre line. I'm going to feed my short line, the 14 metre line, and hopefully I won't have to go on that for at least an hour and a half. And that is the line I'm hoping to catch some better fish on later on. Angler wise, on my left is Mr. Cook, Steve. Best looking man on the bank, apparently. And oldest, right, okay. I don't know if that means he's really good looking or whether we're really ugly. I don't quite know how you want to take that one. Yeah, he's just said, you know, obviously you've got to be ugly to catch bream, and he says I should be alright, so thanks for that, Steve, appreciate that, mate, thank you. And on that side is, now I've stood up, the sun's hitting me now, how about that? And on that side is Andy Oldham, who I drew next to in round 3, was it? Or 2? I can't remember. Over on Moat, so I'm in good company. Andy has told me that this is the first peg in the section going that way, but he says it's the wrong end of the section. He says for some reason all the fish have been caught down at that end. Lee Kerry's down there, I've been told. but as most of you know, this is not a points league. This is a league on weight. Okay, so obviously it'd be nice to win the section, obviously pick up a few quid, but it's the weight ultimately that we need. So, you know, I don't care where the weight comes from. If I don't catch much but Richard does, it doesn't matter. You know, it's our cumulative weight that we're after. That's what we're after. There are 2 rounds left. We are 10 ounce off 10th place, so it's very, very tight, and I think we're only about 3 or 4 pound off about 5th. And then obviously, you know, there is a big gap going right to 1st in the league at the moment because we've suffered with weights. But so it's all about weight, so I'm not bothered about the section. I don't really care. I've just got to catch as much as I possibly can from this peg, and hopefully Richard's going to catch a few as well. So that's it. The starting approach is 37 metres, so I'll check in with you as soon as the match gets going, and I'll give you an update on what I've seen so far and what's been caught. Well, that's how cold it is. This is the tub of water that I've just mixed my ground bait in. It's frozen up while it's been there in the space of 20 minutes. Well, it is winter. We're 45 minutes in. The sun's finally come up, it's now on me. It's just hitting Dad as well. But it's fishing very, very slow. There's just one carp caught, 2 pegs to my left. I've got 2 skimmers, both about 10 ounce a piece. And that's it. Nothing else caught. They're the only 2 bites I've had. The water is very, very cold. The water in my maggots here is still frozen. Look, still iced up. Today is going to go right to the wire, right until the last 10 minutes. I've just got to keep putting fish in the net and just be very, very patient, but it's going to go right to the wire today because we might not get any bites really until the last few minutes. But it's going alright so far. Well, we're just coming up to 2 hours in. Nothing's changed. I haven't had any more signs That long line's just gone dead. No indications, nothing. Andy on my right, he's not caught yet. Steve on my left, he's not caught yet. The next angler down, he's got one carp, and that's it, that's all we've heard. It's very, very hard now. I haven't been on my short line yet. I'm going to try and leave that as long as possible. So I'm probably going to give it about another 20 minutes. I might just have a look on it, just two quick casts, just to see if there's anything there. If not, I'll be straight off it, back on my long line. I'll just be trying to nurture that short line until that last hour. But every bite's going to matter again today. It's going to go right to the wire, right to the end, right to the last cast. Because one decent fish is going to make a massive difference. It's just over 2 hours in. I'm still on that long line. I haven't had any more indications. Steve on my left has just had a chuck short, and he's had a decent skimmer first chuck, but then he's not had anything. It's over 2 hours now. So I'm just going to fish this out for another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to have a look on that short line just to see if there's anything settled on that feed that I put in. Yeah, worth having a look. Well, there was nothing on that other line to completely died on. Well, this middle bit has just been dead. There's about an hour left now. I haven't had any more fish, no more bites on either line. I've had another visit onto my short line, nothing. Andy on my right, he's had a fish now, he's caught a fish, decent fish, which is about £1.5 pound, maybe £2 maybe, but that's the only fish he's got. Paul on my left has still got 2 fish, but then further down, the last 2 anglers going into the corner in that down at that end is Lee Kerry and Mick Biles, and I've just heard that the best weight down there between them two is about £5. I think my fish are going to go, if I'm lucky, probably £4. So going into this last hour, it's very, very tight. One bite can change everything, and I'm hoping that short line is going to work again, but I'm just not getting any bites. There's no signs of any fish, no line bites, no carp being caught. Well, there's 2 caught, that's it. So it's going to go right to the wire. So I'm just going to stay nice and patient. Try not to push it too hard, and hopefully I'm going to get a visit in this last hour, and hopefully it's going to be by some proper stamp fish. I've not heard anything from Richard. I don't know how Richard's getting on. I'm just going to stick to the plan, and hopefully I'm going to get 1 or 2 poles going into this last hour. Oh yeah. Done. And you, mate, you've ended up with a few, haven't you? Right. Yeah. You rest it. You rest your line and you don't catch anything where you're resting it, do you? And you don't always catch when you come. Yeah, and when you come back you don't always catch on it, do you? Once again I've caught late. I've had probably 2 fish for £3 in the last 10 minutes again. I think that might be every match except the first match that's happened, so I'm pleased that's happened on that short line. I've ended up with 8 or 9 fish. Andy had a good spell. Andy had, I think he had 4 fish in 5 casts, or it might have been 5 fish in 6 casts. But he's caught them on a completely different line from me, a line that I ain't even put in today, so maybe I might have made a mistake there. We know Lee Kerry's caught. Lee Kerry is 6 pegs down there. We know Lee Kerry's caught, and he's caught on the same line that Andy's caught on, which is again is a line I haven't put in, so maybe that's something to think about for the next match if I draw on here. I think Steve Cook on the left's ended up with 6 fish, I think, skimmers. Other than that, that's it, we don't know anymore. So last 10 minutes has obviously made it a better finish. I don't know if I'll have £10, might be £9 maybe. I'm not sure what these fish are going to weigh, so I was putting them in the net that quick. I wasn't really paying much attention. Caught everything on maggot and pinky. Just messing around with the mix as normal. And just rotating lines, but it's winter. That sun has now gone behind that building. The sun's been on us for about 2.5–3 hours, and it's been quite comfortable, to be honest. I know I am wrapped up, but now the sun's gone down behind that building, it's really dropping now, the temperature again. But you know, as you saw, it was -3 this morning, so the water's very, very cold. So you know, it'd be nice to get near that £10 mark. You know, if you can average £10 a match on here, that is definitely going to keep you right up there. So if I've got round that, I'll be pleased with that from this area and the way it's fished. And I just hope that Richard's caught a few fish as well. So I want to get packed away and wait for the scales to come down, and then hopefully find out if Richard's caught some fish as well. Well, I thought I'd close to £9, but I've ended up with £8.10. Quite pleased with that here. Andy on my right has ended up with £7, and Cookie on my left, he's had £6 odd. Then I think there was a £4, and then the next one down there, 6 pegs down, is Lee Kerry, and like they said, he was admitted to £9. He's had £9.11, so I'm second in section with that. So you know, not a mega weight, but on the, you know, on the pegs we've been on and the conditions and everything, you can't get too greedy really as regards weight. Obviously we need more weight to get us up the league, but at the end of the day you can only fish the peg that you've got in the conditions that you're faced with. So I'm hoping Richard's caught a few fish, because if everybody, if you know, all the other pairs have got low weights as well, then it's all in relation, isn't it? So just going to get the rest of the kit packed up. First thing Lee said, he's surprised at the stamp of fish that I've caught compared to his. You know, he's caught more fish than me, but he's caught much smaller fish. He hasn't had a fish over £1, so that's really interesting, you know, because all my fish have been a good quality stamp of fish. So maybe that's a reflection of the mix that I've used, maybe where I've fished, maybe the hook bait, who knows. But that has been a pattern. Last time I was on this lake, I was actually next to Lee Kerry, and the same happened there. I caught a better stamp of fish than he did, and yeah, it just gives you a bit of confidence in, you know, your approach for them better fish, because we do need weight. So I'm going to get the rest of this kit packed away, and then head over to the cafe, just find out what Richard's caught, and then have a look at the results. So I'll update you on where we are in the league table after this round 5 with just 1 round to go. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this bit of an insight into this series. There's only 1 match left, so if you don't want to miss that, hit that subscribe button. I've got loads and loads and loads of live matches that I'm going to be uploading onto this channel this year. If I showed you the schedule, you'd wonder how I fit working. There are so many live matches going on there, and I've filmed just about every match that I'm involved in now. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those matches, just hit subscribe. That way you'll not miss any of the uploads. And if you're into more coaching, tuition style videos, ones that are a little bit more in depth about why we make a lot of the decisions that we make, how we prepare as baits and tattle and that sort of thing, then you might want to check out my other channel, which is Patron TV, and that is at the link just there. And like I say, that's a bit more in depth fishing tuition style videos. So thanks for watching, really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.